My first guest is Peter Smart, the Chief Experience Officer and Managing Partner at Fantasy. Fantasy is a product innovation team behind many of the world's most used consumer experiences. Peter's going to talk about how advances in AI are enabling completely new kinds of digital experiences. Peter, welcome to EmTech Digital.
Thank you very much. All right. How's everyone doing? Is everyone having a good time? Is everyone having a good time? There we go. That's what I wanted to hear. Should we have some fun? Yeah, my name is Peter Smart. That's my real name. Hey, we're going to start with a bit of an experiment. I can almost guarantee that about 98, if not 99% of us have one of these in our pockets. Do you? Yeah? If you do, I want you to take it out of your pocket, and I want you to hold it up above your head. Okay? Now, I want you to swap it with the person next to you and put that phone in your pocket. Who's feeling weird right now? Who was doing something on their phone they shouldn't have been doing, and now their neighbor has their phone? That guy, yes, absolutely. I'm going to put you out of your misery. If you have swapped, you can swap them back. We're going to talk about this feeling for the rest of the time. We're going to talk about this feeling of why is this so disconcerting? We all know the reason why. It's because we are already in a relationship with our technology, and these things aren't even smart yet. Enter AI. This is going to be the most powerful set of tools that we as human beings have ever created. And what it will engender, what it will birth, is a brand new relationship with our technology. What I'm going to talk about today, I'm going to try and introduce us to a brand new concept. We've spoken, I think, about generative images while we've been here, generative video, generative music. I want to introduce the concept of generative interfaces. This is a new class of digital experience which is designed to bring the very best out of us by adapting to our needs. And what I'd love to do with the very short time that I have is talk about the really cool implications this has, not only for the way that you and I are going to interact with our technology, but for the services that we get to build, for the people, the customers, the users that we serve, and also our roles and the kind of teams that we build and the way that we can be empowered to do that job even better. Does that sound good? Yeah? Should we do it? Okay. What I'm going to try and present is a near-term vision, and I want to talk about how we therefore prepare for that today. So let's start by talking about how we will interact. And to do that, I'm going to paint a bit of a contrast just for a second. Who feels on edge when they look at a screen like this? These are the digital products and services and websites that we use today. It's where we spend most of our modern lives trying to get things done. Why are these things so frustrating? It's probably a mixture of ads and pop-up blockers and cookies and newsletters and any number of things. But I want to talk about a concept called chain of thought. Has anyone been on a road trip through Canada? Yeah, there we go. I need some tips from you. In a couple of weeks, I'm going for my first road trip in Canada. And it's going to be, I can almost guarantee it's me and my 3 young kids and my wife. It's probably going to be one of the best experiences of my life. I can tell you now that booking that trip was one of the most frustrating and worst experiences of my life. I had hair prior to trying to book that trip. I had to use about 50 different products and services and websites to try and get that done. That's crazy, but think about it. I had to understand where I had to go. Are there direct flights there? Will it be good for my kids? Can I take my dog to any of these national parks? Where do I hire a car from? Is that a good price? What's the best route going to be? There is so much fragmentation in digital tools that we use today. And as a result, we spend more time searching and digging and scrolling than we do actually using and finding. Yeah? Anyone relate to that? Then these experiences are predetermined. Money. He said money? No. Money, news, travel, learning, healthcare. all of us in this room, you and I, we think about these topics completely differently. Yet, every single one of us, if we have the same bank or have the same news app in our pocket, it's identical. Every single one of us has the same experience despite all of the immense diversity in our needs and actually what we're looking to try and achieve at any one given moment. And as the technology tries to serve the needs of everybody, more often than not, it ends up not really serving anybody. And so what I want to do is try and talk about generative interfaces, this new class of digital experience where the layout, function, and content of these experiences is no longer predetermined, but rather intelligently created to meet my needs. It's going to move us from a world that is fragmented and rigid to one which is ultimately personalized to you and personalized to me. And what I want to do is not just talk about that, I'm going to try and show us on stage. It's going to take many forms. It's going to take many forms as part of this presentation, but I'm going to try and introduce you to a few kind of fundamental concepts that are going to enable this future. The first concept is this idea of blocks. Did anyone have Lego growing up? Yeah, good. I wasn't sure. So Lego or Duplo is something that my kids are playing with now. I have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. I also had hair prior to that as well. When we think about generative interfaces of the future, the first concept to think about is this idea of blocks. How today we often think in kind of conventional static terms about the type of experiences that we have to create. But if you can think about experiences as component parts, be it knowledge or content or design. Is anyone here in product design know the idea of a design system, the atomic component parts that kind of make up an interface? Absolutely. It's the same model here, but also think about that in functional terms. And then apply the real-time prediction and reasoning of AI and the relational rules that we'll design. And these are the ingredients for generative interfaces. And what I want to try and do is show us. So, okay, good. So this is a home-brewed version of the NASA app. I'm going to scroll down, scroll up. Okay, that's working good. So I'm going to move into this article here. And by the way, discovering potentially the atmospheric conditions for life on an exoplanet, that's absolutely astounding. I'm going to scroll down. And I'm going to long press on this little paragraph here and say, so where actually is this? And it's dynamically inserted that piece of content directly into the page. I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to move into this image. Let's chat. So, is this potentially water?
Potentially, yes. There could actually be water on K2-18b, and not just a little, a lot. Oceans of water under a hydrogen-rich atmosphere.
Really?
Yeah. And if that's true, it means there could be other planets out there like ours that have the conditions to support life as we know it. Can you imagine?
So what you're seeing here I'm able to do is multi-modal. I'm talking, I'm drawing, I'm typing. I'm going to close out of this just for a second. Okay, and I'm going to scroll down. Okay, here we go. Can you turn this into a diagram that my 5-year-old will understand? Okay, not a diagram, a video. These are generative interfaces. So I'm going to introduce you to a variety of these different interfaces as we go here. I'm going to talk more about the experience of this and the fundamental architecture and the technology behind it. But again, the key concept I want us to pick up on there is this idea of chain of thought, how I was able to remain in my chain of thought in that experience and it adapt to me rather than me having to go dig and search and find for something which helped better contextualize the content of that experience anyway. When we think about that as a workflow, we start to imagine what's happening behind the scenes. We're talking about user input, that turning into data capture, anonymization, and processing, how that then it gets translated into natural language, the decision making that then takes place, and those relational rules that I was describing, to then ultimately both generate and assimilate and present content. Think about that in terms of blocks that then can be presented back, and ultimately then a feedback loop to know if that presentation was useful to our end users, both on a one-to-one scale and on a hyper scaled system. What I want to talk about now is this idea of flexibility, how we look there at my user input and how that created the experience. But you can also think about this in terms of user preference. Each one of us in the room thinks about things very, very differently. Money, travel, finance, our kids, education. So you can imagine here this experience of a travel app for Gabby, Casey, and Yuya being flexibly arranged to support the way that they navigate the world, be they very visual learners or technical learners, but it's all the same function. It's all the same component blocks arranged especially for those particular users. We can also think about experiences which become on demand. We saw that with the NASA example there. It can be applied to every single industry, from finance to travel to education. The ability to help people make better decisions by giving them the context when they need it to feel confident to make purchases or to make decisions for their life, again, rather than fragmenting them and sending them out of our experiences to other experiences to try and solve those foundational human needs. But it's not just content. It's also function, the ability to dynamically create function that actually serves people's needs. I want you to imagine a travel website homepage, for example. We can all picture the homepage. It's a beautiful destination. It says, where are you going from? Where are you going to? What are your dates? That's not actually how we think about travel. That's how we are forced to think about travel because of the interfaces that we are given. But the reality is when we think about travel, and this happened to me just a few weeks ago, I want to go somewhere 2 weeks from now that's going to be warm the whole week with direct flights that my kids can get on that's going to cost about under $400. That's the level of complexity that goes into travel. No user interface enables that to be served today, but think about generative function as a way for that function to be created on the fly to actually support our human needs together. This is the future that we are stepping into. So generative interfaces move us from this rigid, impersonal world to one where we are now in a greater relationship with our technology. How long did it last take you to choose a movie on a streaming service? If you're anything like me, your partner hates you because the 2 hours that you've set aside to actually watch a movie on a date night, on a Friday night, what are you actually doing? You're trying to find the perfect movie in that time. Can anyone else relate to me? Is anyone else like my partner who hates their partner? Yeah, there's a few of us in the room. This is the world that we have been forced to interact with. There's the old adage, never judge a book by its... But yet, what are we putting in front of people? Tens of thousands of covers and expecting them to make content decisions. How have we put ourselves into this situation? With generative AI, the world of content is only going to explode further. This isn't a paradigm that's going to work for us. It doesn't work for us now. It's not going to work in the future. With generative interfaces, this is the type of experience which becomes possible, and I really hope this works. Hey, Tails.
Hey, Peter.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm thinking about existence and watching The Office. You?
I'm good. Which episode are you watching?
The one with the fire alarm? Angela just threw her cat up into the ceiling. So good.
I love that episode. Can you show me? Hey, I want to find a movie to watch.
Okay, love it. Who are you with?
It's just me and Kathleen right now.
What did you have in mind? Some more classic horror? Get your ghoul on?
No, something else.
Okay. Did you like Shawshank last weekend? We didn't chat about it yet.
I did. I enjoyed it. I love that main guy.
Tim Robbins.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Have you seen Mystic River? He won a Golden Globe in that one.
I've not.
I'm popping it on your list for later. I can show you the trailer, but I don't think Kathleen will like it.
Okay.
I'm thinking about what you've both liked recently. Oh, when did you last watch Die Hard?
I've not watched Die Hard.
You've not seen Die Hard?
No. Is it good? Good reviews?
Yes, really good. Want to hear some? Or want to watch the trailer?
That's okay. I trust you. Let's stick it on.
All right, enjoy. And welcome to the party, pal.
So pleased that worked. This is the world of generative interfaces. Think about what this means for the services that all of us in this room get to build. That's what I'm excited about. I've never been more excited to be in the industry than I'm in than right now, because we get to take this transformative technology and create experiences where people not only use that technology, but they love using it. That is the best part of what we get to do. We get to move people from this world of fragmented and rigid experiences where all of us are fighting for people's attention as they try and circulate in these massive fragmented ecosystems to create these trusted, singular relationships where web experiences adapt to my needs and keep me in my chain of thought, where voice-driven agents think about the applications to education, to coaching, to mentorship, simple, singular, trusted. Think about all the industry applications, and then app experiences that actually support my decision making and enable me to make purchases and decisions confidently that affect my life. And ultimately, what that engenders is loyalty. And that's what all of us want. We want to serve customers and have them come back to us again and again because of the job that we're doing for them. This is how we enable that. I'm going to close by talking about what this means for our teams and our roles as well, because I'm equally excited about, yes, these are the experiences that we are going to get to experience, that we're going to get to create for customers, but what about us as well? I think they are as significant. Generative interfaces are as significant for us as they are for our users. It's a new relationship with our tools. We've talked a lot about human technological replacement, for example. I don't believe this is the era of advanced intelligence that we're stepping into. I believe this is the era of advanced human intelligence that we're stepping into. And the new relationships that we will get to build will look very different to the relationships that we've had with our tools to date. We have been in almighty control of the hammer of the past. Now our tools can do things like this. This is an autonomous agent. This is Agent GPT. I gave it a task here to go and write. I said, go and write a screenplay that will appeal to Reese Witherspoon's book club. And it is off. It has defined all of its tasks. It's going and researching. It's looking at the landscape. It is doing this task autonomously. This is a new kind of relationship. This is Galileo. I asked it to create a series of app screens for a cruise vacation. It broke down all the tasks and generated these Figma files in 30 seconds. Our relationship with our tools, even as product designers, product leaders, engineers, is going to foundationally change. But this is not still the era of artificial intelligence. This is the era of advanced human intelligence. Our roles are going to change in incredible and really positive ways. And I want to end by showing you this. Is that little demo that I showed you at the start. This is me creating that demo here in Slack using the NASA app GPT, where I've asked it to create it. I've tapped on the source material I want it to use, and it is it's assembling those blocks that I spoke about there actually into this interface to begin with. I can collaborate with it to then refine that experience. This is a new relationship with our tools, where we as the human being get to elevate and focus on brand new things, not just higher value things, brand new things. I love that last quote. From the previous talk, where do we really believe that the amount of human potential and work is finite? Absolutely not. We're going to move on to new things. I think about us defining strategy. I think about us defining the components. I think about us designing the relationships between us and these tools, a brand new field of design. We think about design as user interfaces. User interfaces are just the manual. It's like having a paintbrush. You're having to transfer your thought onto the page. If we can spend less of our time having to manually transfer thought to page, we can focus on the better thing, the experience and the relationship that we want to design between people and the tools that we create for them. And our AI tools can help us. They can help us with insight. They can help us with prediction, with assembly, and with the learning that's going to enable us to make these products even better for people, both on the fly and in the aggregate. This is a partnership. I'm really excited about this. So generative interfaces are a new class of empowering experience that have really significant implications for the way that we will interact with digital products and services, the services that all of us will get to build, and our teams and our roles. This is a new relationship with our technology. I hope you guys are excited for it. Thank you so much for your time.